Did anyone see the press conference that Russell Westbrook did after a Lakers Spurs game where he went into detail about something that's really been bothering him? He's done with fans calling him Westbrick, which is, a clever name considering he is not a good shooter. I mean, he's one of the worst three-point shooters given the volume of shots he's taken in league history. So fans are calling him Westbrick. It's pretty funny in my opinion. But after the game against the Spurs, Russell Westbrook said this: "A lot of times I let it slide, but it's time to put a stop to that and put it on notice." He said it's gotten so bad, he's worried about the potential impact it's having on him and his family. And he says he's going to do everything in his power to stop it. Which, pause for a moment, that sucks. I don't want to see fans getting kicked out of games for rather innocuous chants. It does sometimes get to a point where somebody who's saying the same thing over and over again for the entirety of a game, it gets old. But if you're a fan, you're watching a game, and you're chanting things like Westbrick at a guy who legitimately sucks at shooting threes, who also has clearly a massive temper problem that gets mad about all sorts of things on the court, why not? It's fun. It's part of being a fan. You're paying money to watch the game. You're paying money so that you can yell with friends while you're drinking alcohol and watching. Don't be a dick. Don't be saying the worst things possible there. But what's wrong with this? I see nothing. Anyway, Westbrook continued, "Me and my wife were at a teacher-parent conferences for my son. And the teacher told me, my son, no, he's so proud of his last name. He writes it everywhere. He writes it on everything. He tells everybody and walks around and says, 'I'm Westbrook.' And I kind of sat there in shock, and it hit me. Damn, I can no longer allow people to call me Westbrick." On the baseline in that game, he was telling us, some San Antonio Spurs fan, "Don't disrespect my name." Okay. When you bring up family, it's a shield that a lot of people see and immediately say, "Yeah, you got to stop." But this is a lame thing to bring up. Oh, wow. The son of a millionaire basketball player is being bullied at school. How long do you think that's going to last? How many of that kid's friends are going to continue to do that, knowing that they can have the play date of their lives if they're hanging out with Russell Westbrook's son? We're talking about Los Angeles here. We're talking about the most materialistic place in the country. I don't think 5-year-olds are that different. You're going to be like your parents probably if you're living in that general area. But Westbrook in this press conference, like a lot of other players you've seen recently, bring up like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about my family." And I hate that gets brought up because it's a defense that never gets challenged. This is a lame defense for "don't disrespect my name." "Yeah, my son, he really loves his last name. And when people say Westbrick, he gets sad." That's such a lame excuse. Family. Like you're Dom Toretto here. Like, okay, I guess that's a shield. But we've seen it in other places too. A little bit more controversial on this front is something that we have seen Ben Simmons talking about his mental health and about how that's something that he wants to work on. I'm sure he does have some mental health issues given the way that things have gone for him in Philadelphia and given how mean Philadelphia fans can be. But at the same time, you say mental health. You haven't shown up for work for like the entirety of this year. And you're still getting paid. And just about zero people in the world can do that in life, where they're going through mental health issues and they can just take off months at a time from work. Weeks? Okay, maybe. But the average person can't do that. And you're expecting someone to empathize with that person or expecting criticism to stop because you just say mental health, family. That's bullshit. And I hate that we do this without challenging it ever. It's fine. Certain situations, I'm sure it's justified. If somebody is sliding into Russell Westbrook's wife DMs and saying, "Fuck you, bitch," or something like that, that's terrible. Things like this has happened to me before. After my little chill dog experience, I was getting people that were threatening to rape me and my family, murder me and my family, shit like that. I let it roll off my shoulders because I'm used to it at this point. I think most people anonymously online are just full of shit. They don't actually mean anything. I think they just want to get a rise out of somebody, and they realize that they can do it from the comfort of their keyboard or wherever they're typing with their thumbs. But Are we going to just accept, oh, well, he said that someone talked about his family. You can't do that, and just believe this person 100% of the time? And I tend to believe, too, in certain situations with fan-player interactions, in the NBA specifically, I think that the guy that gets to sit in front of the microphone after a game gets to embellish the story. He's the only person telling the story. We don't hear two sides, and we don't generally get camera evidence of what actually took place. So, to me, I just think about some of the Karen types that will yell or scream or get angry at somebody in customer service and then perhaps embellish, hyperbolize their actual experience. For the most part, it might be right, or maybe they're just totally making it up to get their way and screaming like a psychopath. How is that different than some of the times where you see players accusing fans of things? Should we believe players every single time? I think skepticism is warranted in situations like this from time to time.